Yeah, made our skateboards back in the early 60s, and we'd go surfing down at Trestles. And growing up in Huntington Beach, there's no hills or anything, but we skated hills, especially we go surf Trestles or Doheny or somewhere, then we'd go skate the hills in San Clemente above the high school before anything was there. Nice, smooth asphalt, and then also in Laguna, which was more rough and steeper. And we always skated barefooted and all that. But anyway, Ron Stoner, a great surf photographer with lots of style, he goes, "Hey, I heard about this burnt down ranch in Stanton, someplace up there, and let's go explore it. Maybe you can skate it." So anyway, it was pretty clean, but we cleaned part of it out. And I went up there with a few surfers, but I was the only one that really skated. So I was just stoked, you know, dropping in and, you know, see how high you could get and come down. But if you ate shit, you know, we're barefooted, and if you ate, you know, if you weren't going to make it down, you could just get off and run around the wall. You know, my feet were thick from, you know, walking in and out of places. We never wore shoes in those days. We were always barefoot, so I had thick, you know, calluses on my feet from walking over the rocks and doing the rock dance, you know. And so anyway, yeah, it was barefooted, and we skated barefoot. And when you get off, man, you'd hit. I mean, you know, so you'd have to run it out. Anyway, you'd run it out on the pool. It was smooth, so it was no problem. Loved it. But then never went back. You know, I was too young. I didn't have a car or a ride or anybody to go with. So the best thing I could do was ride the hills.
That day, it was Rick Stoner, the photographer, and you were with
Ron Stoner, the photographer.
Oh, Ron Stoner, sorry.
Yeah, Jackie Baxter and David Nueva, but I was a skater, and those guys played around with it, but not, you know, I was more serious. I skated all the time. I'd skate in Huntington Beach from my house down to the pier and then go surfing. And they had a little hill that goes down to the beach, and I'd skate that too. But we'd hang up around the Pavilion, and, you know, I started doing kick turns. Nobody did kick turns, so yeah, I have photos of me doing kick turns barefooted, dragging my foot. You know, who drags their foot barefooted? But, you know, going barefoot all the time, you get used to it. So there you have it. Early times.
Beautiful. You pushed this thing called air. You did it on your jet ski. You told all the kids, "Hey man, you got to get air." Like, you remember? Like,
surfing.
Everything, sir. Yeah, surfing.
No, surfing. Yeah, I used to take
like
Christian and Nathan to the skate park since, you know, they were really young. I think Nathan was maybe 4, and Jason Jesse too. And so Christian was surfing. I go, "This is the next step. They're going to be doing airs." And so he practiced and, you know, changed the world of surfing to flying in the air. And in those days, they didn't want to know about it. But now, if you don't do big airs, you're nothing. So there you have it. Get air. Yeah. The jet ski, yeah, I loved it. I got bigger air than anybody.
What?
And then all the motocross people started doing all these crazy maneuvers. But I learned a lot from the skaters, you know, doing airs, stale fishes and stuff. Because when you got up in the air, it was just perfect. Like a stale fish, you could just turn your jet ski around and go back into the wave. When you hit the left, because I'm regular foot, I'd hit the left and go flying up in the air. And then if you grabbed, you know, the jet ski would just turn, just with the motion of the grab. So I'm sure that's what happens in surfing and skateboarding. I couldn't do it surfing, there's no way, but Christian did. He changed the world of surfing. And Nathan, he did all the airs, but he wanted to turn hard. And Christian could turn hard and do it all. You know, great surfer to this day.
What was it like? I mean, no one did it before. You just blasting off of Waimea on your jet ski.
Well, we tested the jet skis in '73, and they only made a couple hundred of them, and I didn't get one. But then in '75, they made some more, and I got one. They were only 400s. And, you know, I rode a lot, and, you know, I'd tow Christian in '76, I think. I started towing him in small waves at Pochi, and I'd let him ride it. He almost ran me over with it, and Dibby, my wife. But, excuse me. Then they started making 550 or 440. So I got a 440, and then the 550, and I got the 550 to Hawaii, and that was great. We rode the fastest wave, which is Malaya on Maui. But then I'd ride Pipeline a lot, and the only reason I got out there is when it was too big for anybody to paddle out. And so I went out and I had a great time. I disappeared in the tube. But then the lifeguards, they loved it, what I was doing. The police didn't, and people would call the cops on me, but the lifeguards would call me in, and I'd go ditch my jet ski and lock my gate, look at him from the upper story down trying to get in. He's in there, I know, hey, come on out of there. And I had this hideout in there. But
we got into it back in 1959 when in Hermosa Beach, me and Bruce, before my brother and sister were born. Well, Brad was born. My sister wasn't even born yet.
Okay.
You know, on the steel wheels and the skates. We pulled them apart, flattened the little things that go around the skates, and just nailed them to a 2x4 in the beginning. But we didn't have much to do back then. It was either surf or there was nothing to do besides surfing, nothing. So we picked up skateboarding, you know, saw a few kids and picked it up, and there we went, you know, got skates like they had and nailed them to a 2x4.
Mm-hmm.
First it was a 2x4.
Right. Right. And so you could just kind of go down the road, down the sidewalk. Did it turn much?
No, it wouldn't turn
just
at
like
all.
Straight, just like
totally straight on the 2x4.
You're just shooting the curl, basically.
Totally straight on the 2x4. And even when we went to a solid wood skateboard at that time, they still wouldn't turn.
Right.
Then it was 61 is when we first saw the clay wheel. In 61, I saw an ad in a magazine,
right,
for skateboard trucks and wheels by Chicago Roller Skate. And I saw these, I went, oh, unreal.
Right.
And we had no money. You know, it wasn't that much money back then, but people didn't have money. We ended up sending away, me and Bruce, for a set each, and then off we went. And pretty soon you started seeing many more clay wheels, and
they were probably like $2 for the stuff.
It was probably like anywhere $2, $3, $4 for the trucks and the wheels.
And then you just made your own board. And
yeah, we just
put it on there.
We made our own
screwed
board.
It on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I got a picture of my brother doing the headstand in 1961 on a pretty wide solid wood board.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That'd be.
What's your name?
Kelly.
Who do you ride for?
Logan at Ski and Tracker Trucks.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Peace spot. Peace town.